counsel, Joy Mathami. We represent the petitioner in this case. Would the court like a brief statement of the facts at hand?
Yes, please.
On September 15th, 2010, Forrest Tram and his drug detection dog, Randy, were on patrol. They conducted a traffic stop after noticing petitioner Rufus Jacamar's tag was expired. Tram approached the truck and noticed that there was an open can of beer in the cup holder, and Jacamar was breathing rapidly. When Tram was asked to search the vehicle, Jacamar would not consent, and that is when Tram then deployed his drug detection dog, Randy, to do an open-air sniff of the vehicle. Randy alerted to the door handle on the driver's side.
What does an open-air sniff mean?
Open-air sniff is conducted when a drug detection dog is used to sniff the exterior of the vehicle, not the interior of the vehicle.
Okay.
And is completely legal without consent of the petitioner in this case. I didn't have to add that part in. Never mind.
It's completely legal?
Never mind that. Okay, I don't know where I was. Okay. Randy alerted to the door handle on the driver's side, which indicated the presence of controlled substances. Believing that the alert gave Tram probable cause, he conducted a search of the truck. The contents of the search included matches, more than 200 pseudoephedrine pills, and muriatic acid. Jacamar was placed under arrest, and further into the search, Tram found marijuana in plastic bags, as well as an empty Starbucks cups, M&M's bags, and an envelope that was found addressed to Jacamar and showing a local return address. 2 days later, Tram, Randy, the DEA, and the Department of Justice staked out the house of the return address on the envelope, which belonged to petitioner Violet Saberwing.
All right, thank you. That's enough.
Really?
It's for the facts.
Okay.
You can proceed to your argument.
Thanks.
It's jogging my mind.
Yeah.
Recollecting.
The Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution provides the right of all people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures that shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized under the U.S. Constitution. Amendment 4. A search for purposes of the Fourth Amendment occurs when the government infringes on a subjective expectation of privacy that society is prepared to
Can you tell me what you're going to be arguing over the next 10 minutes so I can just get an idea of where to follow?
We affirm, without the ability of petitioner Jacamar to possess any knowledge of how Randy is operated, excuse me.
Take your time. Again, this is just training, so it's not like the real thing. So take your time and think about how you want to say it.
The individual's Jacamar was violated in terms of expectations of privacy under the Fourth Amendment by the searching of the interior of the vehicle without a warrant. Because Jacamar denied the ability of Officer Tram to search the vehicle, we uphold that Jacamar's privacy was violated. And
so you think that because he didn't get a warrant before he searched the vehicle?
The very fact that Jacamar denied the right of the police officer to search the car, and the officer then was able to search a car, we believe that's unconstitutional.
Do you mean searching the car through the drug sniff, or when he actually opened up?
When he actually opened up the car, the interior of the vehicle.
Didn't he already have probable cause?
We also believe, as I'm going to get to, that is unconstitutional as well.
What's unconstitutional?
The fact that probable cause was dictated to the searching of the vehicle, and Randy, we affirm, is not certified.
Can you say this in everyday language? Like, I'm sorry, what do you mean?
We don't believe Randy had the right, or Officer Tram had the right to search the vehicle based on probable cause. We believe
based on Officer Randy Smith. Probable cause is a theory. It's not
the probable cause of him sniffing.
Okay.
So we don't.
If he did have probable cause, do you agree then that he would have the right to search the vehicle without a search warrant?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're pretty much saying that Randy does not give the officer probable cause. Okay. Thank you.
We affirm that without the ability of petitioner Jacomar to possess any knowledge of how Randy is operated and what his alerts mean, that an alert by Randy may be seen as inaccurate or fake in order to allow the search of the car.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Officer Tram may have had the intention of searching the car from the beginning of the traffic stop, but all he needed was probable cause in order to do so. In this case, his probable cause would be the dog alerting to the presence of contraband. Faking this alert would not only allow access to the search of the inside of the car, but would allow probable cause.
So you think Officer Tramp faked it in order to search the car?
We don't believe, but we're saying it's a possibility that any officer with a canine dog.
Do you think it's likely?
Most likely. If the officer wants to search your vehicle, all
do
he
you think
needs
officers want to spend their time searching random vehicles which most likely don't have drugs?
I think they can.
Do you think they do?
Yes.
You think that officers want to waste their time searching random?
Not waste their time. It wouldn't be a waste of time if they found anything.
If they did, but
99%
of people don't have drugs in their car.
Well, I mean,
98.
Officers are curious.
So you think Officer Tram here was just curious that?
I think Officer Tram wants to get what he wants, and what he wanted was to search the inside of the car.
But isn't there other ways that the officer could fake probable cause if they really wanted to? Just by saying that
Indeed
they
there is.
smelled marijuana?
But the fact that he had a canine dog and, everyday citizen is not likely to know what the alerts mean, how Randy is operated in this case, it can be easy to fake out any citizen.
I'm going to ask you, do you think it's more likely that Officer Tram in this case is wanting to search the vehicle, or do you think it's more likely that he actually got a drug sniff that resulted in an actual alert?
Well, the fact that Jacomar, petitioner, did not agree or consent to the search leads me to believe that he's basically saying, okay, I'm going to do it with this means. So he's reverting to Plan B, in other words.
And Plan B, just to clarify, it's perfectly legal. It's legal to have a drug sniff.
The open air sniff was legal.
Yeah.
And we affirm that the fact that he searched the car was not legal.
So you want us basically to be afraid that officers might use the capability of drug sniffing dogs?
I mean, not afraid, but
aware
of their Fourth Amendment rights. And
do you have any case law to back up that assumption, or is this just something you created in mind?
Facts in the case.
Well, we do have prior. I mean, I'm just going to throw out Cabela's. It affirms the right of an open air sniff, and it doesn't take any time away from an unusual traffic stop.
Mm-hmm.
But when you deny the right of an officer to search a car, and you use the open air sniff as an excuse to search the car as probable cause, we don't believe that's constitutional.
Okay, can you get on to assuming that Officer Tran had good intentions, assuming, again, it might not be certain, but assuming he does, and the dog had alerted positively, do you think that still constitutes probable cause?
Assuming good intentions in what way? Good intentions
that the dog actually alerted, positively alerted. He wasn't cued on. Officer Tran didn't try to trick the dog or something.
I mean, it could be or it couldn't be, but there's obviously no data that supports it. There's not a...
That supports what?
That supports that he had good intentions or not. That he was using
But assuming he does.
Assuming he does.
Which, by the way, I think is a pretty good assumption. But assuming he does.
Well, it's an assumption made by an officer. You can't make an assumption if you have a person that has no idea how it's worked. How this is a technology that's being used.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's capable of sniffing someone's car, which notes to the inside of someone's car,
mm-hmm.
which then gives the officer reason to believe that they're narcotics.
Does the dog detect the presence of contraband or the presence of an odor?
Randy, in this case, is a one-purpose dog, which.
But is he detecting the presence of contraband when he does a sniff, or is
Yes.
he detecting the odor emanated from a contraband?
The presence of contraband.
Okay. From my understanding
It may be
of
based
the
on-
case and of the dog sniffs, they're actually alerting to the odor. This can be found in Stephen's dissent in Kylo.
So in other words, you're saying there could be an odor or a residual odor on the outside of the vehicle.
Well, I'm saying the dog is alerting to the residual odor. He's not alerting to any
the
contraband.
actual physical.
Yeah, he's alerting to an odor coming off of the contraband.
And you have 9 minutes left, so
You might want to.
I would. Is there any further questions?
there's a lot.
But yeah, not enough for your 9 minutes.
I would like to refer to my co-counsel, Joy Mathami.
Okay.